So let's talk about if my listener today is thinking about running a podcast network, what would be their considerations? How would they get started? How would they monetize it? And what's the hard part and the easy part about it?
So the way I think about it is space, territory, location, whatever word you choose. So start with your website. What are the locations on your website that would lend themselves to an advertiser, to a sponsor? And for me, the number one is the very top, the banner. So you'll see the name of my Compliance Podcast Network across the top of the website, but immediately below that, you see two banners. One is Podtastic Friends, which is a nonprofit I support, and which I don't charge for. But below that is Kona AI, and they're my lead sponsor for the network. So because that territory is the most valuable. I would like to tell you I thought of this, but of course, I don't even think my own material. The oldest blogger in the compliance space developed all of this with the banner at the top, and then he has ads on each side. I haven't gone that far, but I think the banner ad is the primest or most prime territory. So that's on the website. Now we move to the podcast itself. Where is the prime territory in the podcast? You've announced that we're going to have a quick word from our sponsor here in a few moments. So obviously a mid-roll is a key element. That's prime territory because by now you're invested in the podcast and you probably are going to want to listen to the ad. I certainly do if I was listening to this podcast, but you have a pre-roll ad and a post-roll ad, and the values of those go up and down. So that's also territory, but it's not limited there. Because I have a daily newsletter that I send out that lists all of my podcasts. Once again, that newsletter means location, territory, space for advertisements. I can do it at the top, advertising a webinar, event, or other, or I can do it at the bottom. Turns out on a newsletter, you actually get more engagement by putting things at the bottom. Can't explain why, but that's what the numbers tell us. So everything you do has a location that lends itself to a sponsorship, to an ad, to a something that you can monetize going forward.